Hello guys. So if you've been following us on Instagram, I mentioned that we bought a couple of meal replacements from China. Mostly, I thought I bought something from Korea, but turns out I didn't. So anyway, the first one that I'm going to review is this from Wonderlab. I suppose this is the original because there's another one that is a collaboration with Haiti, but I'm going to show that another day. So let's go right into it and open up this box. Beauty is art and science. Well, we're not going to discuss that. We'll leave that for another day. So inside you see 6 beautiful bottles. They range from the lowest I'm seeing here is 259 calories. Same goes with this one, and the highest is 283 calories. So that really depends on which flavor you are after. So the first one, what flavor is this? Right here is hazelnut and black chocolate. I'm just going to zoom in to the next ones. Second one, you have Earl Grey and milk tea. Earl Grey milk tea. You have red bean and job tears, GOH tears. I'm not too sure. We have matcha and brown rice. We have latte coffee, and then we have walnut, black sesame. Interesting combinations. So of course, right off the bat, what I realized was each of these is 75 grams. Well, that's quite impressive because if you remember, Focus Foods is 80 grams for a serving of 350 calories, but that one we have to provide it in a bottle of a capacity of 650 ml. But if you look at this one, it's really tiny. There's this little transparent bar here, which basically tells us that it's filled up with half of the 75 grams powder, and then you're going to fill it up the other half with water. So I'm guessing there's a lot of solvents in here that helps the powder dissolve maybe into creamy texture or something, or maybe it's going to be a little not so dissolvable. We'll find that out in a bit. So I gotta make another video. I gotta cut this because I can't read Chinese. And if you look at the product itself, it's made in China, and because everything is in Chinese, this is probably made for the Chinese market. I'm not even sure if this is meant for exports, but anyway, I got it off either Shopee or Lazada. I can't remember. So I'll be right back, guys, after translating. And because the time now is only 1 o'clock, I am only breaking fast at 3:30 p.m. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back from translating the stuff that's going on here. So, okay, let's get right into it. Here, of course, you see 38 grams of carbs. And if you look at protein, there's only 13.7, which means the ratio is you have 3 times the carbs compared to the amount of protein, and fats only comes at meager 5.7, and I wanted to say bad, but that really depends what ingredients they put in there. If it's good fats, I want more good fats. But if it's bad fats, I want less bad. I want way less of that, right? But I think it's a bit off, right? 38 grams of carbs, which is 3 times the number of protein, and only meager 5.7 grams of fats. The other thing that I noticed was if you look at this 12.5 grams, that's dietary fiber, but so out of 38 grams of carbs, you have 12.5 grams of fiber, but it doesn't really say how much sugar you're getting out of these 38 grams though. I'm guessing a lot, as we will see later in the ingredients section. So what else? 245 mg of sodium, that's not too low, that's not too high. The rest of the numbers, I think it's all right. All this is basically your minerals and vitamins. I think it's all right. to get your daily suggested intake, I guess this is about 20% of that. But I guess no big issue because you could supplement that with multivitamins, or you could get it from other sources of food as well. So now let's go into the more interesting stuff, the ingredients. So this part right here is the ingredients. Let me just check my notes since this is all translated. First of all, the highest ingredient amount by weight is cocoa powder, and then it's followed by skim milk powder. So that's like this drinking cocoa and skim milk. After that, you have soy protein isolate. You really need to watch our video on Herbalife if you haven't, which we talk about what soy protein isolate actually means and what harm it could do to you. And then followed by that is isomaltose. Well, isomaltose, if you Google what isomaltose is, you will see a lot of scientific explanations, which means it's not exactly a food. Right, let me just repeat that. Isomaltose is a very simple ingredient. It's not even really meant as food. It's like glucose, but isomaltose basically means their molecule comes in the form of two molecules of glucose. You will see studies that says, when for diabetes patients you replace glucose with isomaltose, it's better, but that's because you're comparing isomaltose to glucose, which is just plain bad. If you need a recap, glucose basically means it's the simplest form of sugar. It's a form of sugar that your body can readily digest and use as energy right away, which means if you're not going to use it right away, it will be stored as fat. It could trigger other things like, I don't know, bad cholesterol production and many other things. Worse still, sugar can even feed cancer cells if you want to believe that. I believe it's true, but I don't want to sound too dark and gloomy here. Anyway, isomaltose is basically a molecule of two molecules of glucose. So it's bad, but it's not as bad as glucose. It still means you are just eating sugar. So like I said, if you're not going to use it right off, you'll be accumulated as fat. So if you're drinking this and what you're going to do after that is just sit in the office, do office work, do desk work, or even if your activity is just as simple or as chill as walking around, I don't know, playing with your dog, your cat, or doing groceries, that is not enough. There's just no reason for glucose or isomaltose intake directly in that form. And then it's followed by some sort of malt, and then crystallized fructose. Bloody hell, even more sugar. Fructose is basically sugar from fruits. Sorry, it's not exactly sugar from fruits. Fruits contain primarily fructose, and guess what? All this while you've been eating fruits and you think it's bloody healthy, but fructose is actually one of the most fattening sugars of all of them. Okay, so be careful. I think you should eat veggie rather than fruits, but again, that's a topic for another day. What I'd like to really very quickly mention here is fruits is basically vegetables with added sugar. All right, that's why it's so tasty, it's so yummy. So after crystallized fructose, you have potato extract. I'm not sure why is it doing that. And phospholipid. Phospholipid, again, if you Google that, you probably get a scientific explanation. It's not a food by itself. I'm guessing that's where the 5.7 grams of fat is coming from. So very clearly, this is the ingredients is very like Soylent, is very like Herbalife, where you would come up with a formulation like this. You want, you tell your R&D guy or whatever, you want this amount of carbs, you want this amount of protein and fats, make something, and then they put in simple ingredients to come up with all these numbers, and what follows is all like your vitamins and minerals. So what I'm trying to say is, unlike brands like say Huel, Ample, or even Focus Foods, where we throw in whole foods so that we try to come up with these numbers using whole foods rather than, I want fats, I throw in phospholipids. I want freaking carbs, I throw in all your fructose or your isomaltose. I want 13.7 grams of protein, I put in my soy protein isolate, which is probably one of the cheapest form of protein out there. I don't know, man, this is pissing me off. I've got 6 servings here that I'm not sure if I'm even going to finish, but of course I'm going to stick to one. I'm going to choose this for my breaking fast later at 3:30 p.m. and at least tell you guys how it tastes. I'm guessing it's probably going to taste fantastic. Why? Because there's so much sugar in there. Oh, of course it's going to taste fantastic. All right. Sorry, got distracted there a little bit. Of course, after that you see ingredients like erythritol, which is a sweetener. I think okay. I'm not a fan. I'm probably a fan of stevia because you require stevia in so much lesser amount than erythritol. I don't know why you need sweetener because you've already got so much sweeteners in there. You got so much sugars in there. And guar gum, again, the rest is vitamins and minerals. I think that's fine because it's better there than not, I suppose, if it's not in too ridiculous an amount of them. So come 3:30 p.m. I'll probably go for this flavor. Again, there's 6 flavors here. I do not know which one to choose. I'm quite indifferent, so I'm just gonna go with what the box suggested as number 1. I'm just gonna try that. So here we go. We have this hazelnut and black chocolate. Let's check this out. Time to break fast. So open it up. Oh shit. It smells really good. It smells very just like your typical milk chocolate kind of smell. Turn this thing around so you see the bar. It's almost 1/3 full, so I'm just gonna fill it up till where it says I should be stopping. Alright, close this thing. It's quite well closed. Let's give it a good shake. See some powder there, I'm going to give it a tap. Before I drink this, what I really want to say is good luck to myself because I've fasted for 18 hours already, which means my blood sugar level right now is really low, and if I'm going to ingest so much sugar right now, I think I should be expecting a sugar crash in no time. It smells really rich, really rich. Not as milky and chocolatey as it was before mixing with water. So there's all these crunchy bits inside. There's so much crunchy bits inside that I'm not sure whether those were the hazelnut bits or those were powders in having clumped up. Let me just check. I think let's just assume that they are not clumps. They are meant to be like that. They're really crunchy. I don't know what to say of them. I think they are just clumps of flour, sort of. Just clumps of starch. This is alright. Again, not as milky as I would have expected it to be from the smell. Otherwise, it's just This is dark. This is really dark, chocolate looking thing. I'm not sure if you can see. I was expecting it to be a bit tastier, but yeah. Sorry, guys. So in conclusion, guys, it's 3:30 p.m. I just broke fast after 18 hours of fasting. I'm expecting sugar crash after this because, as mentioned, if you remember, there was 38 grams of carbs on so little protein and fats. It's mostly very simple sugar like fructose, like isomaltose. Taste wise, it's all right. It's not grainy like Focus Foods. It's pretty creamy, again, unlike Focus Foods. But the taste, I was expecting it to be better because seeing so much of this questionable ingredients. Okay, I wouldn't really say questionable, but they are just not whole foods like what Hero, Ample, or Focus Foods would have inside. But I was expecting taste to be a lot better. I don't know about the rest of the 5 of them. Right, you have your Earl Grey, you have your walnut and whatever, but this is again hazelnut and black chocolate. No, not impressed. Okay, so the time now is about 3:30. Let's see how long this can last me, and let's see if I really have a sugar crash after this. And also, to fully do this as an experiment, as a review, I obviously will not be eating anything after this. Not even tea, not even coffee. Only be having water for the rest of the maybe 4 hours, or see however long that I can last. So while waiting for that few hours to pass, so let me just go through a couple of things before I forget. Sorry. So this whole set cost me 135 ringgit. I bought it on Shopee, got it delivered in probably 2 weeks. So again, there's 6 bottles of this thing. Right, so 135 ringgit, that translates to 22 ringgit 50 cents per bottle. Now, I don't know how is that sustainable, because first, it's not cheap. 22 ringgit, really, you can get really decent food. Even if you're looking at meal replacements, there's plenty of options out there. Focus Foods only costs about 9 ringgit and 30 cents per serving. And sustainability wise, again, so say you do this every day, you do 1 bottle every day, you end up with having 6 plastic bottles to throw away, unless you can figure out ways to reuse them. It comes in a box as well, so in a paper box. So again, I don't know how sustainable this whole thing is going to be exactly, but of course you would say, oh, Focus Foods, we sell in plastic bottles as well. But here's the thing, you'd be surprised at how few people actually buy in plastic bottles. It's just there as an option, but most people buy the big pouches, either 880 grams or 2.4 kilos. No one really buys bottles anymore, but if you see people who buy in bottles, they slowly, gradually change to buying sachets or pouches, and they will buy shaker bottles from us, which we also sell on our website, and we don't really earn much of a profit out of the shaker bottles, because all we want to do is make habits like this sustainable. So yeah, again, Then you have all these weird dates up here. You see, as of today is 16th July. If you look at these dates, first thought, of course, when I saw this, it says 25th of May 2020. What does that mean? First reaction when I got this was literally to message the seller and ask, hey, what's up? Did you give me a expired product? And she said, no, that's a production date. And said, so, well, no big issue there. I think that's just a bit of a user experience problem, maybe. Again, no big deal. But yeah, all this is 135. Shipping was free, so that translates to 22 ringgit and 50 cents per serving in plastic bottles. What's up, guys? So it's been 4 hours since I had that shake. How did I feel? I think the first 1.5 hours I didn't feel much. There wasn't much of a problem, but sugar crash did kick in after about 1.5 hours, but it wasn't as bad a crash that I expected. But nonetheless, what I basically was doing is just doing some desk work, and I took 15 minutes break. I tried reading. After that, came back to the PC, sent a very long email, did an online course. I think everything was pretty alright except reading. I basically couldn't concentrate much at all. It was really bad. Reading rate was really slow. Concentration was really bad. Anyway, hunger started kicking in after about just 3 hours. Again, it's been 4 hours since the last shake, so overall the sugar crash in terms of keeping me full, I think it was alright. I wasn't expecting me to be full for throughout 4 hours, to be honest, because it was only 274 calories, right? After 18 hours of fasting, I think that's not fantastic. So yeah, before the final words about this shake, if you notice from the video where I was consuming it, you could hear that crunchy bits that I also mentioned. I think, to be honest, I think that's a brilliant idea because it gives you that sense of satisfaction that you're actually chewing something while drinking a shake as a meal replacement. I think that's a brilliant idea despite its ingredients. So I don't quite know what exactly goes into those chunky bits. It's a brilliant idea. In fact, I might take inspiration from that for Focus Foods in the future. Who knows, I might incorporate some crunchy bits into Focus Foods to give people that satisfaction that in case they miss chewing something that they usually get from a meal. So overall, would I recommend it? I think two things. One is its ingredients. It's all very simple sugar, like isomaltose and what was it, crystallized fructose. And second thing is its nutrition facts, i.e. the ratio of carbs to protein to fats. I think it's a bit off. So for these two main reasons, I would not recommend it. And then there's few other smaller reasons. I wouldn't say smaller reasons, but reasons like it's not the price is not exactly friendly or reasonable. It's 22 ringgit and 50 cents per serving of only 274 calories of questionable ingredients. And then also, of course, it only comes in bottles. I have yet be able to find this coming in sachet or the form of bags in bulk pouches, so it's not sustainable. So for all these reasons, I definitely would not recommend it. As you remember, there were 6 bottles. I've only consumed 1 bottle. I don't even know if I should consume the rest. I think I would, only because I'm curious of the taste. But then, that being said, I still don't quite know what I would do with it. I think to test the taste, I could just test a sip or two, but it feels like quite a waste to throw them off. Again, they come in plastic bottles. I hope I can recycle them. So yeah, I hope you find this useful. There's more to come, just as a preview. So that was Wonderlab. This is actually Wonderlab collaboration with Haiti. Haiti is a big big, something like tea life, something like cha time in China. They are big. I think this is basically their collaboration in terms of taste, but ingredients, again, I can't really read. I need to translate that, and that will come in the next video. I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you.